This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
The only approval that matters.
And you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of Capes and Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
What about our Quasar podcast, The Quantum Zone?
Nope.
What about them? Damn nerds!
Yes, that's right, everyone. We got a special guest tonight. Someone you've never heard me talk to before. But welcome back to the Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil. As I said, as you may have figured out from that drop, our special guest tonight is Master of the Quantum Zone, Mr. Will already.
Hey, everyone.
And we got
Sorry, what was your name again?
Oh, Phil. Who, me? And we also have Lilith Hellfire, Mouth of the South.
Hey, y'all. Checking in from Florida. I'm disappointed in my state, but Nevada will get it done.
Pennsylvania got it done. Anyway, and I think Charlie's still there in New Jersey. Oh, look at him putting up that old...
Not in New Jersey.
Oh, that's right. You're on the road. I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think I'm so late?
I forgot.
Yes.
Very rarely do the tri-state area people venture out of the tri-state area. We forgot.
Well, I'm still in the tri-state area.
I'm
in the third state.
Anyway, so I figure, yes, Will's here to talk about his Kickstarter. I figure we'll do the news, then we'll talk about Will's Kickstarter, and then we'll get to the comics. So, can I just open this episode? Nothing official yet, but can I just say, na, hey, goodbye?
Don't jinx it! Oh, there's no way now. Even with the math, there's no way. But the House can still decide, and I don't trust the House. So, come on, Nevada, get it done.
It's a gamble, Lilith. It's a gamble. Get it?
You don't say. Get out of town.
Anyway, so so let's get to some news.
I need a new president to make fun of. I think we've done all that we can do with Trump. And I just want a new president to make fun of, like all the comedians.
Well, it's going to be Biden, he's so old, It could be he's so
He went
old
to high school, Methuselah, yeah.
He held Washington's wooden teeth, yeah. All right, so what's the big news? Johnny Depp getting removed from Fantastic Beasts 3.
I'm just gonna say this. We've heard the tapes. It's not fair. It's not right. # not my mirror. Get her out of there too, then. Get her out of there too. What's fair is fair. If you're a real feminist, fair is fair. Get her out of there too. She doesn't work in Hollywood anymore either then.
Oh yeah, I know nothing about the situation, but I just always figure it's the both of them, just two toxic people.
Yeah. So
I mean,
that's just my opinion. Ever since that, I was like, why is she still booked for Aquaman 2? If fair is fair,
well, it's DC.
She's got to go too.
Well, Warner's doesn't care.
Well, they care about Johnny Depp, and honestly, come on, who's the bigger star? Although it is the Harry Potter franchise, and that is tainted thanks to J.K. Rowling. So, I'm just saying, maybe that's not all that's going on with that particular situation.
But we still have Newt, right?
Poor Eddie Redmayne just got sucked in. He's like, I just wanted to make a cute movie with cute CGI animals, and now I'm talking about the Wizarding Holocaust. Damn it, woman! If you don't know about the Harry Potter franchise, you're probably completely lost, but that is a thing. That's how that's going.
I've just always looked at Johnny Depp side-eyed since he developed that French accent or whatever that is.
If Madonna can have a British accent, he can have a French accent.
What
made me raise my eyebrows was when he played Tonto. That's when I was like, okay, I'm going to step back away from the Johnny Depp thing. That was the nail in the coffin. Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah.
Do you watch those, Will?
Not all of them, no.
Okay. I know. I think I've watched one Harry Potter, and that was like...
Well, you guys are kind of old, so it's okay.
Oh!
That's my generation thing. That's a true millennial phenomenon, Right. Although, You only get one house. I do not want to hear about a Slithergriff or whatever the hell you guys. You're either a Ravenclaw, you're a Gryffindor, you're a Slytherin, or you're a Hufflepuff. You don't get to mix.
Suck it, Lilith. Suck it, Lilith.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
We're old. Not president old, but we're old.
Yeah, that franchise was kind of like garbage anyway. It's like one tiny little textbook and you're making 3 movies. What is this, the Hobbit prequel? Come on.
Oh my lord, I'd rather watch Harry Potter all day. I tried to watch one of those Lord of the Rings things once. Oh my lord, they were just walking. I fell asleep.
That is not my nerd thing. Like, Tolkien is not my jam.
I fell asleep.
At all.
I fell asleep and I'm like,
give me C.S. Lewis. He wrote a great story about a lamppost out of spite. That's my kind of fantasy writer. That's all I'm saying. He has his issues too, but between Tolkien and Lewis, give me Lewis.
But I was they're walking, I fall asleep, I wake up, they're walking. I'm like, what the?
Poor Phil. The Hobbit was like a good book, though. I mean, they forced me to read it in like 3rd grade, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'll never read anything else by Tolkien again, but okay.
Oh my god.
I just like the cartoon.
That is good. No. Everybody, and that and Watership Down, the animated version. The original animated version, not the one that came out relatively recently. Terrify your children. Watch Watership Down.
Did anybody get to watch New Mandalorian today?
No.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes. Tristan wanted to watch it, so we agreed. I said, Tristan, do you want to watch Mandalorian? He says, oh, yes, yay. And then we watched it, and then he's like, oh, now I got to wait another week?
Exactly. I just like to binge it, so I'm just wait.
I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about more on super connectivity, but it's Baby Yoda, man. Eggs are bad for you.
I was really creeped out by that. I'll be honest with you. I'm not quite sure where they were going with that. And just that he kept on eating them. And it's like, my line will die. And you gotta have some kind of salvation out of this, Baby Yoda. Right now you are on the Sith path. Right now Yoda is Yiddle, as I call him.
I mean, I didn't like that.
He is a Sith, 100%.
I didn't like that either.
Who's to say he wasn't anyway the whole time? I'm just saying.
Well, and to be fair, it is the First Order that was looking for him. So obviously,
it's all coming together for me personally.
Yeah, I didn't like the whole thing with the eggs either, but I took that as, babies put stuff in their mouths and. Shut up.
I was also just like, he got that ship like operational really fast. Like from where we can't fly, we're gonna die here. It's like, okay, well I guess I'll just bar the door and we'll get it started. Okay, it's like, were you even trying to get you guys off the ground?
I guess we'll just fly sideways to.
Yeah, it was just a little. That whole. It seemed a little. I will be honest. It seemed a little easy to fix. It seemed like they could have made that a bit more dramatic, and they kind of just like hand wavy-ummed it. It's like, okay, we got the spider monsters, we got the cops. The cops come back and save him. And they're going to let him go because it's a difficult world out here on the Outer Rim. But you better get your transponder fixed, kid. Oh, just awful cops.
So is that woman just like tricking him into doing good deeds or something?
Well, no. I mean, you mean I'm blanking on her name now.
I forget her name too. But yeah, but the one at the
yeah. No, she's just using him for gig work, man.
I was gonna say, finessing him,
Yeah, I don't think there's anything noble on it. I'm sure she got a cut on getting the salamander lady to her location, too.
It's all legitimate business, okay?
Here, sweeten the pot so this sucker keeps playing.
Yeah. But yeah,
but no, I guess there's I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's confirmed. I guess now, after last week, spoilers, I guess now they're talking about a Boba Fett spinoff.
Wasn't that always in the works though?
I don't know.
Somewhere down the line, that was like before the Mandalorian, they wanted to do Boba Fett or something like that. I thought.
Maybe, but after last week, I mean, you just kind of saw
Yeah.
that.
Well, you know, it's basically your total MCU kind of a thing. It's like, oh, I got a great idea for a Mandalorian for a story about Boba Fett. It's like, no, that's too valuable of a property for us to just let you go. But tell you what, why don't you just create your own original? If you can take another character and make it work, even a made up character, you know, then maybe we'll let you use Boba Fett in the second season.
Now the Mandalorian's carrying the franchise on its back. They're like,
well, I mean, from day one, as soon as Baby Yoda showed up, merchandising, baby, there is the T-shirts.
Although, to be fair, I mean...
Wait, have you guys seen the creepy animatronic Baby Yoda that's like on the top, like 50 hottest gifts for Christmas? It's creepy. I don't like it. No, thank you.
I know what Lil's getting for herself for Christmas.
That thing will stay in the box in a closet. That's like worse than the Furby. Honestly, let's be honest. The Yoda Furby was like, hey, let me borrow your homework, but make it different. Switch it up a bit. No, Furbies are creepy.
I know.
Yep, and they spy on you. That was the first electronic to spy on you. And immediately, because the CIA said, oh, we should not be letting Furbies come into their office. And that was like a big news story. And it was like, oh, the CIA worried about fun little electronic toys spying on you.
Now I have my friend Alexa.
Exactly.
Now you have your phone. What do you mean?
Oh,
they don't even make dumb phones anymore.
That's true. Yeah.
One wonders if no one had invented the Furby, if maybe the CIA would have never thought, what if everyone just had a listening device that we just listened to constantly, and they carried them around with them, like these Furby things?
They'll let us bug their.
They would have put them in your Game Boys and your Switches eventually.
They'll let us bug their houses as long as they can stream their shows and look up the recipe for carrot cake.
Convenience. It makes a fool of us all. Oh. I'm guilty, you're guilty, we're all guilty. Now look at us. Skynet! It's here.
Always cheery, Lil. Thank you.
What do you want from an angry void, Philip? Jeez.
I never called you that. We never dated.
He's like, I never said that. She said it. Don't at me.
Whoa. Okay, so Will, you said you didn't watch Discovery yet today? Or this week's?
No, not yet.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting. They get to the Trill planet because they have the new Trill character. Well, a human is a host for a Trill, which was never happened before.
Well, but this is 1,000 years later, so 920 years later, whatever the math is.
What's up with all the spinoffs? Like, I feel like it's cutting Discovery short with all the spinoffs. It's kind of a shame.
Well, I mean...
See, that when they first introduced the Trill, didn't like a human have to carry the Trill host for it was like slowly killing them, but so it's not the first time.
Yeah.
Just the first successful time.
Yeah, it's like stable. Yeah. Because remember when they did it with Riker was like,
right.
Yeah, getting all sick. Yeah, this is like a stable. Yeah, and they're like, how did this happen?
And now Riker lives forever as a Trill.
No, he's going to live in animation.
Yeah.
Even better. You don't have to worry about the facelifts.
He's going to have the live action show too, isn't he? And then,
Well, they've got enough footage of him to kind of do the Robert Downey Jr. smoothing, so.
I just want to see Mariner. And, if it goes back, I want to see a live action Mariner meet live action Riker. That's going to be awesome.
No Lower Decks live action. No.
Lower Decks is the best one. I'm sorry.
Oh,
so you're finally enjoying it? You've warmed up to it?
Oh, I've been, it had a couple of rough seasons that I've been very honest about which episodes were the rough ones. But no, they really, I like it, and I'm kind of embracing Boimler as just kind of a jerk now too, which I kind of like as well, that they kind of said, okay, we give him some nice things, but we're also going to make him really, at the end of the day, a real jerk. But then again, we're also going to highlight the fact that, hey, you know what, not everybody's mom is a Starfleet officer and their dad an admiral. So, they kind of point out that, Mariner's kind of sorry, spoilers, Mariner's kind of had a charmed life that Boimler has not been privy to. Boimler is good at his job, but is always overlooked because he's just so bland.
And I don't care. I don't care if he looks old. I want Q in live action. I want Q in Lower Decks. I want Q everywhere.
Okay, if anybody's, well, not obviously this year, but if you guys been to a recent-ish, Star Trek convention, there's like 1,000. And John Delaney makes the rounds, John Delancey makes the rounds. He's had some work done between us hens. He's had some work done. Don't worry about it.
I saw a picture. I didn't know how recent it was, but I was like, if he shaves that beard and dyes his hair black, I'm like, is he really look that much older? I mean, yeah.
Yes. I don't know if it's all convention cultures that he's like kind of negative on.
Well, he was with the My Little Pony.
Yeah.
He worked that one to death.
Well, I was watching on YouTube the Life and Death of the Bronies. It was
by Sarah Zett?
Yeah. She's awesome. I really sucked you into an hour-long video.
Dude, my I like her too. She's in my queue, definitely.
She's great. She actually did like some kind of comedy song thing with that. It's very cool. But anyway.
Yeah, don't worry about him. We can get a Q show. He's down for it. He needs the money. He's got a couple ex-wives. He needs the money.
Dude,
well, do you want to jump into any of these conversations, or you're just saying, when do I get to talk about my thing?
See, real professors are polite.
Some of them. I know a few in real life as well. He sets a good example for the profession.
No, I just don't want to interrupt your guys' normal flow.
No, there's no normal flow. Just jump in.
It's all mad.
There's no rhyme or reason here. This isn't civil like Quantum Zone. No. Jump in. Come on.
Yeah.
We're civil in the Quantum Zone.
It's not all tea and crumpets like with Kona.
Comparatively.
That highbrow Matt Kona,
See you later, bunkies.
Wait. Just so I understand that, you said the words highbrow and Matt Kona in the same sentence, right?
It's got to be longer.
He would be so disappointed. It's not what he worked hard for, okay?
I think he would be disappointed, man. I really do.
I can sprinkle some pen particles on it to make it bigger.
I know. Well, and by the way, we'll plug Matt Kona here too. Hey, if you need any virtual online stand-up routine, Matt Kona's tour job is going to be going away again for the winter. So, hey, hire yourself a virtual comedian.
And he just finished a virtual marathon of horror movies again for the month of October. I didn't think he was going to make it this year.
He's always virtual. I know. He was pulling double duty on Tuesdays, man. He'd record with us, and then, he'd be done by quarter after 10:30. He's like, we got to watch a horror movie now.
But he did it. He's the man. He's the man.
Now, it depends on what kind of horror. Like, if it's like that 80s, slasher stuff, okay. If it's like the 90s, that's okay.
I believe his
anything past the 90s.
I believe his criteria was what is free and what is on any of our subscription services.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes! That's a tough go because you gotta have. Well, if you have Shudder, it's not that bad. As a horror fan, I have to tell you, Shudder is great.
Yeah, I don't know what he has. But
if you're looking at Netflix, you're watching The Cube 3. Not good.
Hellblazer Back to School or something.
Yeah, everybody's kind of taken all the good horror and kind of hoarded it onto their streaming services now, unfortunately. So,
well, it's like Apple TV bought all those Peanuts movies, like the Great Pumpkin.
Oh, Servant was a good horror series, actually.
What is it?
That's on Apple TV. Yeah, it's got a nice little conspiracy vibe, lots of creepy vibes. I'm surprised by Apple TV. Not gonna lie, Apple TV surprised me with a few of theirs.
Oh, is it good?
Some of them. They have some pretty okay stuff.
See, I have books too.
I was going to say, I see what you're doing.
Nice.
Oh my god! But yeah, no. When I bought the computer, I can get a free year of Apple TV or something. But the minute
you should do it. You might and Danielle might like a lot of the stuff that's on there. Maybe. Actually, it's more geared towards that demographic. I'll just be polite and say it that way.
And I know they all do it, but then the minute you go to sign up, they're like, "Oh, you need a credit card number." I was like, "Yeah, no thanks."
But it's a whole year.
I know. But then it's a year, then you forget,
Mm-hmm. That's how they get you.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say Prime is my favorite streaming service. I know. Ooh, Lilith loves Amazon. Big surprise. But I do. I think.
I mean, The Boys. Come on.
The Boys is great.
You got Man in the High Castle. It's a lot more high concept, like kind of things than like other services.
Yeah, people say is good.
That's from Peacock, though, right?
No, Utopia is on Amazon.
Is it? What am I thinking? That's Utopia on Peacock. They had NBC used to have a show called Utopia, but not the British one.
Yeah,
That's a pretty generic name.
It's also not the Laurel and Hardy one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice reference.
Deep dive from my fellow professor.
Man, the news has been not the best for entertainment right now.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the world, America's holding their breath right now.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The news I'm excited about is Jim Gaffigan.
Oh yeah.
Hot Pocket.
I just,
as the voice of the lightning bolt of Thunderbolt or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, the fifth dimensional Jin. Not that kind of Jin, Lilith, but.
Although it's Jim Gaffigan, are we sure?
Fair enough. I find it interesting, and just because I'm going weird on limbs here, and I'm just trying to think, what were they thinking? I'm thinking, oh, okay, sort of like, what if you had a Robin Williams genie, but he just was super, super low key. Like oh no, I'm not that kind of genie. That's not the kind of comedy I do.
Yeah, you have had a friend like me. I'm the dull one.
So what if Robin Williams didn't do the coke? Okay.
Yeah. So exactly. Jim Gaffigan. If you've ever seen actually his
stand-ups are amazing.
Yeah, but he actually has a series on Amazon too. I think it's called The Pale Traveler. And it's him going to all of these different countries. Like he goes to Spain, he goes to Canada, he does a third country. I haven't seen that one yet. Canada is hilarious, though. And it is very subtle comedy, but it is very stream of consciousness and very, very much like what you might see, what you did see Robin Williams do, but super, super grounded. Like if you cross Robin Williams with Seinfeld.
Oh,
so it's like, airline food.
What is up with this people? What is up with these people?
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm a big fan of Jim Gaffigan. I like that he's got the work. So I'm excited to see what they do with the Thunderbolt genie. And I love any fifth dimensional character from DC.
Because he's just hoping for ambush bug, or
he's not really fifth dimensional. He just is aware of his own. He is. What I love about ambush bug? He knows he's fictional. He isn't overwhelmed by it. Everyone else who realizes they're fictional, they're like, "What does that mean for my life? Everything is meaningless." And ambush bug.
Or you could just be like Gwenpool, hope my book doesn't get canceled.
Well, yeah, but that has its own existential dread. Ambush bug is like, "Oh, okay, I'm fictional." Come on, Cheeks, let's go patrol the neighborhood. Well, Cheeks, the Toy Wonder.
Oh, we didn't talk about here. Lilith, I think we mentioned it real quick on Comic Capers. We lost Sean Connery last weekend.
Yeah, conflicted.
Oh, why? Just because he liked to smack women around? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he was never my favorite Bond. I know it's controversial, but, Pierce Brosnan is my favorite James Bond, and y'all can fight me.
Whoa.
I'm a dirty, filthy American, so sue me.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm going to have to agree with you. I thought Pierce Brosnan was the best. I didn't think he had the best stories, but
fight me,
he's what Bond should look like in my mind.
Yeah, Pierce Bronson. Well, and that's always the thing is Pierce Bronson was supposed to be Bond, but legal disputes and things like that with Remington Steele, they wouldn't release him from his contract to be it. So we got Timothy Dalton, who I actually feel is a very underrated.
Poor Timothy Dalton.
That's the thing. It's like Timothy Dalton is a perfectly good Bond, but everyone's like, no, it was supposed to be Pierce Bronson. And so it's like, I can't be Pierce Bronson. I can only be Timothy Dalton. Did you see me in Flash Gordon? I was very good in that.
Yes, I love him in that. As we all know, I love a good Flash Gordon movie.
and that is the curse of Timothy Dalton. He's the guy who was Bond, but when people wanted someone else to be Bond. So in that case, he actually even has it worse than Roger Moore, because
who everybody just forgets about.
Well, no, I mean Roger Moore was my Bond as a kid, who also similar to Pierce Brosnan was the Saint. So he actually had this huge fan following, which is why he sort of got into it a little better. But then that was this whole thing. Oh, they're just replacing Bond with the Saint. They're just making it like a TV show, and that was Roger Moore. But Timothy Dalton, it was like the guy who, when they wanted the TV show, he was the actual actor they hired for it. So.
And the Bond series needs reinvigoration, though, and I don't know what they're going to do.
I told you, they just need some kind of gimmick where they tie it all together. It's like James Bond's a code name that they,
don't give in to the fan service. That's what I say. That's my, like with Bond, that's the only series that I would say never lean into the fan service.
Yeah, that's just reaching.
And are we getting a female Bond next?
I mean, we got a female Doctor Who, so,
I mean, I'm just...
Times are changing, boys. Deal with it.
I mean, I would assume we're not going to call her James.
No.
Well, James King. She goes by Jamie King now, or Jamie Presley King. So, girls can be named James.
Okay.
Yeah, people can have any name they want nowadays.
Yeah.
We're into where people are starting to put numbers into their names. It's okay. We're a much more judgmental society name-wise nowadays.
I can't wait till we get the exclamation marks.
Did you guys see the Enola Holmes movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you read the books? I don't know if that's up your alley, Will, but the books are fantastic.
I know. But it was such a charming movie. I mean, it was just really, really
made Henry Cavill likable. I'll say it.
Yeah, he was very likable, and yet I also
because he wasn't the focus. Let me repeat the focus of the movie.
What I'll say is they made Bond a very intelligent man of his time. So he's still a man of his time. He still has all of the awfulnesses of being an 18th century or 17th century Londoner guy. I don't know when these stories take place, but he is totally that thing, and we get that. But like, he's the nice one. It's like you have Mycroft, who honestly I feel gets a bad rap in the story.
As the older brother, you always do.
Yeah, because it's like, look, we have a job. This is the thing. Mom actually made me in charge of her, expressly because you're probably just going to go on an opium bender. So
Well, yeah, true. It's in the books.
Let's be honest, and it is, and he wants her to be secured in her life, and what that means, and what Enola needs,
Alone backwards, like what a it was Helena Bonham Carter playing the mom, so what do you expect? That is so emo and goth at the same time.
Well, yeah, but then as she points out, but maybe I'm reading into it way more than I should,
No, you're not reading into it enough.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party.
This isn't one of those things like what's the hot chick in Not the one that Gatsby loves, but the other one who's the wife of the tough guy. I forget her name.
Jan.
What?
Jan?
No. I forget it. But anyway, she like gets run over by a car at the end.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you get for cheating in the early 20s.
Well, It's there's a whole thing that Fitzgerald's doing there with her sexuality, and there's a lot of real splatterpunk writing that really actually F. Scott Fitzgerald, kind of the first splatterpunk writer. If you really
it's a reach, but I'll allow it, sir.
He does a lot of gross stuff in that book. That's all I'm saying. And but there's this scene where when she gives birth to a girl and she's so sad and she says, just let her be a fool, because life's easier if you don't overthink what your status is in this world as a pretty woman of a rich man, and this is our lives. So it's dark and horrifying and sad. But or was that actually the girl that or was that actually the woman that Gatsby left? I don't know. It's been a long time.
That was Daisy.
Daisy.
I'm pretty sure that was Daisy.
So I'm getting my Daisy and my other girl confused here. But that's sad though. It's like, oh, you have to be this and It's like, well, no, they don't.
Well, there's a line in that movie that perfectly sums up Sherlock's position, where because the women are trying to do the whole suffrage voting thing, and the black girl goes, "Well, you have no interest in it because it doesn't really affect your life." You know, that just sums it up. You're not interested in power because guess what? You're a white guy. You're already in power here, and you're rich. You know, like hello.
Oh yeah. I mean, they do not pull punches in it, and that is to its advantage.
I really wish they would have done a TV series because the books are just so fantastic that I think it deserves a little more depth than a 2-hour. Well, not even a 2-hour movie.
Well, I was actually a little disappointed to realize it wasn't, because I heard everyone talking about it. I said, oh, it must be a TV. I don't think about people making just movies anymore. You know,
not now.
Yeah,
everything is going to be a show, even if it doesn't need to be at this point.
And that's the thing. So I always expect when I watch something that there'll be another show about these characters immediately after. And then when I'm not, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a 1-episode season? That's weird.
It was 2 hours long.
What is this though? Into the night of Moon Knight podcast? Oh wait, the Moon Knight podcast?
Specify.
But I am in the mood to hear something of somebody. I heard somebody on this panel had a project.
Oh yeah,
Phil's Comics Corner.
I was going to open comics with that. Yes, Will, tell us about your Kickstarter project and what the comic is about.
Well, we're launching on the 11th. It's called Crossover Division. Actually, funny story. I've been working on this since maybe 2014. 2015, I guess. Over at Comics Experience, and then was finally able to find a team and get going on it. But it's been called Crossovers for like 5 years. So I announced it on my newsletter that, hey, we're coming out, Crossovers number 1 will be launching November 11th. Yay! And the very next day, Image announces Crossover number 1. Bye.
I will start a Twitter war on your behalf, Will. Just say it. Just say it. Just name the place and time and the person you want me to tweet at.
So, I curled up in a fetal position for a couple of days, and then we came out of that and decided to rename the book Crossover Division so there wasn't any crossover. Sorry. And that was kind of fun. But basically the book is, we've got 2 guys. One is an English professor. One is a research librarian. And they're part of a group. And they go around and they stop ontological events, crossovers. So fictions can kind of overtake our world. And if they stay too long, they become part of our world. So they're trying to repulse these fictions as they invade. The first issue, it's actually War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. So you've got this giant Martian walker coming up. We've got an 8-page preview story where we did The Wizard of Oz, which was kind of a fun little thing. We had flying monkeys.
Still in public domain, Disney.
That's right. That is correct. But the kind of the premise is this English professor he's really depressed. His life is not where he wants it to be. He's unhappy. And then suddenly this crossover happens, and he actually realizes that this thing should not be here, because typically during a crossover, the people inside it are like, well, this is normal. This is, it's a merged world kind of thing. And he realizes that it's not, for a couple of reasons, which we get into later in the series ultimately. But finally he meets up with some Crossover Division agents and kind of helps save the day, and then gets a job. And we start following him around. It's my intention to serialize the story on Kickstarter. Basically, I've got basically a rough plan for 20 issues. It's going to take me a while to do this, but I mean, ultimately, it's kind of about, and I kind of give it away on the first page. In a speech on the very first page of the first issue, he's like, the main character Hank is, be wary, be wary of lies. In the end, truth is all we have. And, these are fictions. These are lies that are becoming real. So it's, lies, alternate facts. I wonder where this got, some of its impetus from. I don't know. But they basically have, they have to, first off, they have to figure out, well, what work are we crossing over with? They come in, well, we got flying monkeys in a castle. I'm thinking this is probably Wizard of Oz. So that's pretty easy. But, you go into, in the third and the fourth issue, which are already written, they go into a town and they're like, well, we don't know what's going on here. It's starting to look a little strange, but strange generally, not strange specifically. So how do they have to figure it out, because to end the crossover, they have to read the last line of the work, and that wakes up the person. They have to read the last line of the work to the person that's fallen asleep and kind of created this merging of the worlds. So it's the last line of the War of the Worlds is really interesting because it's I don't even have it with me, but it talks about I thought you were dead. Basically, is kind of I thought my wife was dead, but I'm not. It's H.G. Wells, of course, put it more succinctly, but that's why he's the father of science fiction, I guess. Anyway, but it's and I want it to kind of have this feel, so when they're reading this, it's almost like a magical incantation or something. They're really just reading the last line of the book. The dreamer wakes up, and hey, the crossover's over. Everything's all right. There's more going on in the background, which we will start revealing slowly over the issues. Who's funding Crossover Division? Why are they funding Crossover Division? Who's this crazy agent that used to be an agent but's not really an agent anymore? And what's she doing out there?
So, just out of curiosity, I'm just curious from your creative process on this. How often do anachronisms come into play in the crossover? Because obviously, if you think about something like War of the Worlds, that takes place turn of the century. Obviously, if this is taking place in our modern world, that's going to be an aspect to it that may be something that they notice, that everything's gone all steampunk for some reason.
Yeah. Well, and actually, and I can't really show this in a graphic, but if you look at the timeline, and the crossover happens here, what it does is start spreading out both forward and backwards to the time. So it starts making retroactive changes to the past. And the cool thing that I really like is, and this actually may be a stretch goal if we make our goal. I hope we do, of course. But tattoos protect they get a tattoo on the back of their left hand of the World Triad symbol. That kind of describes their reality a little bit and gives them a little bit of protection when they're in a crossover, so they can not get subsumed by it and still realize that it's a crossover. So symbolism is extremely important because the symbols are kind of how we describe our reality, basically. But as soon as if a crossover goes on too long, it just merges and becomes part of the reality, and it's always been that way because it changes things retroactively. But
So
awesome.
Here's a question for you. Are there ever situations in which just abysmal literature becomes the reality, and that becomes a threat even in and of itself? There's no motivation for anyone in this book.
Well, we can look at a lot of historical literature and maybe not like a bunch of it.
Spend this.
I make it a point. Well, I'll go ahead and reveal it. So in issue 3 and 4, it's a 2-part crossover. They come in, they don't know what the crossover is, and they're trying to figure it out. 2 more experienced agents come in and say, out of the way, we got this, rookies. We got this. And they get it wrong. And it turns out that it's actually Romeo and Juliet. Now, I really, really dislike Romeo and Juliet. Really, really dislike it.
Somebody's 9th grade literature teacher hurt them.
No, the language of it is amazing. But the fact that it's held up to be this amazing super love story. It's a bunch of emo teens that end up killing each other. I mean, come on.
Exactly. No. Yes.
See, to be fair, I always thought that was the point. It was
teenagers being teenagers, even back then.
So, in the second issue, I've seen this page in my head for literally years. It's not been drawn yet, although Pablo's going to get to it. Actually, let me stop for a second. I haven't even talked about the team. All right, we've assembled a really great team for the series. We've got Pablo Martinena, who's an Argentinian artist who is doing some amazing work. In our 8-page preview story that I've shared with my newsletter and pretty much anybody and everybody, you can see his work. It's beautiful. He's a really, really good artist. He's doing the penciling, inking, and coloring, so he's kind of a jack of all trades. He's really.
That's a good catch you got there, Will.
Yeah, I know. Shh, don't tell him. Sorry. And then Brant Fowler is our letterer. He's done work for so many companies, but he's doing the design and the lettering, and I couldn't be happier. He designed our logo, and yeah, it's awesome. And then Hassan, let me see if I can pronounce his last name. Hassan, give me a second here. I've almost got this. His last name, Otsman. Wow, no pressure.
Give him a break. He doesn't like to butcher people's names like we do, Philip. Come on.
So Haas is Hassan Otsman Elhau, and he's our editor. He's also a really accomplished letterer on his own, but he's also the guy behind Panel by Panel, which is the digital magazine. It's actually an Eisner Award-winning digital magazine on comics. It's the amount of thought and just sheer analytical skill that he has is just so impressive. And having him as the editor was, in my mind, just an awesome steal, and it's already made the book better. But those guys depend on me to write something, and then I depend on them to make me look good. So it's pretty awesome that way, the way it works out, because they do make me look really good. But yeah, so in the second issue, I'm not a huge fan of Dracula, but I wanted to try and address a little bit of the really weird way women are treated in Victorian literature. So this thing focuses more on the brides of Dracula in the second issue. But it's a lot of fun. Hank goes on a rant about how much he hates vampires, and he mentions, Lost Boys and whiny vampires with souls, and
Angel Burn
and sparkly vampires, and he goes on a pretty good rant, which was kind of fun to write. But it's a lot of fun because my hope is, and one of the things that I do in each of these issues is, like the first issue is a 26-page story that deals with War of the Worlds. Then there's going to be a 1-page essay, an illustrated essay, that talks about the work. Kind of
because he's a professor, guys. He wasn't going to let you get out of there without learning something.
Exactly. From an academic standpoint, it's like, hey, here's War of the Worlds. Here's here's the author and the time, because it's important to me to really place those works in their historical context. It's really, really important to me. And then so in the first issue, we've got a 26-page story of War of the Worlds, the essay, and then we've got an 8-page story of The Wizard of Oz, which has already been released digitally. And then we'll have an essay on that and some pinups and alternate covers and all kinds of fun stuff. But I really want to try to look at or attack, whatever work we're crossing over with. I want to try to attack some aspect of it and maybe see how it plays into the main theme of truth versus lies, or some weird stuff like the Dracula issue where it's doing weird things because Victorians, man, ugh.
As we were saying, just awful people, one and all. So
we're so proud of you, buddy, and we really can't wait to read it. Like, just first and foremost.
Well, thanks. I'm really excited about it. It's this really I talk about this in the newsletter a lot. The best days are art email days because I wrote this thing down. You know, I wrote it down in a Word document. You know, and then it comes back and it's a real thing suddenly. I mean, it's just so. I can't be unhappy. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, it's really, and then it's going to be this. It's going to be this real thing that gets printed and is something I can hold and actually read. It's a real thing. It's kind of a kick.
Starter.
Oh, go fund yourself, Philip.
Hey, we're trying. Anyone have $4 billion to help us buy DC Comics? That was true. We do. All right. I mean, we'll do this again at the end. But Will, tell them how to get to the newsletter. How can they support the Kickstarter?
Okay. Well, you can go to the newsletter. It's called the Midnight Hour because I am a inveterate night owl. Morning people are
the worst,
mentally disturbed, and should seek professional help, in my opinion. So the newsletter goes out once a week, usually late around midnight, or even 1 a.m. Tuesday morning, or late Monday night. And you can get to it at either my other series is Diary of Night, so you can go to diaryofnight.com. There's a subscribe button there, or you can go to crossoverdivision.com. And there's also a subscribe button there. And then if you want to sign up for the pre-launch page of the Kickstarter right now, so you'll get an email alert as soon as we go live. If you go to crossoverdivision.com/KS for Kickstarter, that'll take you right to that page.
And Diary of Night is good. He writes good vampires, not like that Pretty Boy Dracula. Oh, if you want, I can hook you up with. If you want to do another interview, I can hook you up with somebody else to do an interview. Somebody's
cool.
been interviewing.
Rob, are you talking about George, our overlord?
George. Yeah, I was going to say someone's been interviewing a lot of creators lately.
Why did your eye drift over to my box?
He's a hoot, honestly. If you haven't had an interview with him, he's a hoot. Okay. You'll have fun.
I'll send him your info. Yeah,
Alley chat.
Well, one of the other cool things about Kickstarter is the Kickstarter community, and just the indie comics community in general is really supportive. In fact, a bunch of us creators kind of, because of the pandemic, we decided that we were not exactly in an optimum headspace to create, for the last 9-10 months. So a bunch of us, maybe 10 of us, started just once a month hanging out and talking about our projects, talking about whatever we needed to do, and it's something we've kept up for several months now. And we've really kind of become pretty good friends, and a bunch of us are kind of launching around this time. I know Rob has already launched with his Nightwolf. Clay and Dave launched the Nightmare Theater, which is going on right now. And then I think Kevin just launched Tart, numbers 11 and 12, which has already hit its
Hello, you have my attention. You said Tart.
Tart, awesome. I will tell Kevin that I found a fan. Tart 11 and 12 have already hit their goal, and I've actually seen the books. They're beautiful. Ludo is an amazing artist.
Yeah, you sent me that big list of links. I'll put everybody's link in the show notes. So,
yeah, and then of course I'm launching on the 11th. Yay!
Yay! Oh, that's coming.
Just out of curiosity, I wanted to ask about that. Is there a reason for that date?
Well, my original stupid thought, I got to qualify that, was, hey, I'm gonna launch on November 1st.
No, you're good. Good thing you did.
Wait a minute. November 1st, 2nd, 3rd. You know what? Maybe that's not the best day to launch first. So I basically pushed it back, 10 days. So there'd be a week after the election. Of course. Well,
I was going to say now.
I just pushed it to there, and I don't know. It's weird because my launch for Diary, the collection of Diary of Night, so Diary of Night Volume 1, was actually a November launch about 3 years ago, I think. And then I did a launch, a Make 100 launch of Diary, where I wrote 100-word flash fiction diary entries, individuals, and about 100 of the books. And that was a February thing, because February is always Make 100 on Kickstarter. That's one of their marketing things. But November just seems to be, I guess, kind of the time I get stuff done. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Perfectly congruent reason.
I did not want to launch.
Well, it's also National Write a Novel Month, and very, very literature things going on in the month.
That's true. NaNoWriMo is pretty awesome too. So
I just wasn't sure if we were going for an Armistice Day thing there. So that's all.
No,
it's not that fancy, Charlie.
Wait a minute. Yes, it totally was. I totally
there you go. It's going to start. It's going to launch at 11 o'clock. It's going to be great.
That's right. No, it's. I don't know. I guess because the day job that I work in IT at the university here, and the end of the year things tend to slow down a little bit. That's when a lot of us take vacation, that we built up. So it seemed to make the most. I guess it kind of makes the most sense from just a scheduling standpoint too. And hey, Bram Stoker's birthday is November 8th.
Well, there you go.
Flash fact for you.
Friend of the show, Lawrence Burgess, would be very proud of you for knowing that fact. Dracula is his thing.
All right, so should we talk some quick comics?
Yes, and speaking of crossovers, let's talk the most ambitious crossover ever attempted.
So fancy!
Transformers, My Little Pony, Friendship in Disguise. Yes, I am a brony. I don't know if that's. I don't. Look, people call themselves bronies. There's weird people that do that. I loved the My Little Pony series. I've always loved My Little Pony since I was a young boy, because I was always very gender nonconforming. But what I want to do. It's just once again another great tale of our.
It's Insecticons, so it was a hard no for me, bro. It was a no for me, dog.
Wait, no, you get.
It was the Insecticons. Stop it, Charlie.
Look at that panel. You get the entire Applejack clan brought through dimensional portals on your left.
How about new?
And hey, look, speaking of John Delancey, guess who's central in this issue? Discord. I love it because you can never read a line from Discord without hearing John Delancey's voice. It's amazing.
Very true.
Yes, and yes, I guess if you're not an Insecticons fan, I always found them to be a really amazing thing because they are.
It is Beast Wars or nothing.
They evolved. They woke up first. They realized there is no electricity on this primitive world. We have to find another way. They are proof that life survives, even inorganic life, and that's just beautiful.
Grimlock would chew them and spit them and
yes,
poop them out.
And then it's. I mean, all throughout it, we've got all the crossover. We got everyone getting together, everyone fighting.
Finally.
Yeah, like I said, it's the most ambitious crossover. It took 4 issues to get here. The Changeling Queen refuses to open the dimensional portal, but don't worry, because Grimlock and Spark are on the case.
I will say the comedy of this issue was off the chain. Like, yeah. I enjoy comedy because, like, sometimes Transformers can be very, like, dour and, blah, blah, blah. But you get your little My Pony comedy in there with the little Transformers. It's what it needed.
We combine the matrix of leadership with the magic of friendship. This is the most powerful force in the Omniverse. So, yes. Crossovers for you, kids. Crossovers for you.
I'm glad it's over, and we can move on to another crossover with My Little Ponies. Hoping for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers My Little Pony crossover, to be honest. So.
Oh, my.
Yeah, Lilith.
Y'all know I'm a 90s kid, guys. Power Rangers is my jam. Speaking of which, Morphin, Mighty Morphin #1 came out. So yeah, I'm excited about that, obviously.
Was it good?
Of course it was good. Like, what? That's a Boom book, in case you don't know, for the uninitiated.
Okay. That's it?
Whatever! Oh, men, whatever.
Come on, Charlie gave us an in-depth review. Nothing about Mighty Morphin #1.
Well, you guys are, like, if you know, you know. I don't know.
Oh, she's like, you guys are cool enough to even know about Mighty Morphin #1.
I do want to just shout out the art by Marco Rena. Just chef's kiss, absolutely freaking stunning. But this is basically, it's like it's 2 new teams. So like if you were interested in the other titles, but you're like, oh, it was too many books. Now's the time to kind of like jump in on this. Ryan Perich is the guy that did the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover. He's writing this book, so that might bring in some new people too. So I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, I love that crossover book as well. So I might be a little biased.
I mean, you had my attention with Last Ronin. I still need to pick up that first issue. It sounds good.
Good luck finding it.
Oh, is it?
You don't have to wait for the second printing.
Oh,
yeah, they were already like 125,000 short or something.
Oh,
it was crazy. Like people were ordering it like hotcakes. So you may have to wait for the second printing, but I'd wait for it.
Are they digital?
I got 2 copies. I was selfish. I got 2 copies from my comic book guy. So
are they digital?
Hashtag judge me.
Man, what did you do for that second copy?
I go there all the time. I'm probably single-handedly supporting both his comic book shops, to be honest.
Whoa. Support.
Yeah, it's kind of always empty when I go in.
No.
I'm just saying. No, it's comic book store owners. Maybe because you're not friendly. Comic book store owners aren't nice to you.
Oh no, I'm friendly.
No, this comic book shop guy, let him hang our posters in. He's totally cool. Phil's guy is cool.
No, I mean, my guy threw in a free Iron Lad posable figure for Tristan today. This past week. So yes, he was.
That's why it is nice to shop the local comic book shops. It really is. You really want to support a local small business. That is the way to go.
Oh yeah, my guy's really small shop. He's the only employee, so it's like. Really
well, that's one way to keep the cost low, am I right?
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I can't recommend this. Like, if you're a Power Rangers fan, even just a casual fan, I think this book will really like ignite some nostalgia for you. And it's got White Ranger on the cover, although everybody knows Green Ranger's better. He's the best 6th Ranger. Y'all can fight me, but it's true. And that's the only thing I read from Boom, because Boom is kind of on its way out, unfortunately.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's having a tough time.
Wow. Oh, did you see they dropped every Kelly Thompson Marvel book this week?
I know! I was just like, well, there goes the budget!
They took my idea. The last time I talked to her, I think they released like Captain Marvel and Deadpool in the same week. I'm like, man, if Black Widow came, or there was one of them that didn't come out. I'm like, man, if they would have just released that 3rd book, you could have had like Kelly Thompson week. And guess what they did this
Here
time?
It is!
Yeah. No, they're all good.
Those books were all really good too.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
especially Black Widow.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I like it. Not gonna lie, y'all know how I feel about Black Widow.
I know.
It takes a special hand, and I'm glad that they got Kelly on board for it. She has a special way with tough characters. Like, I even gave Captain Marvel a chance,
I know, and you're like,
Yeah, I don't care for the Danvers Corps.
Yeah. But no, I mean, all those books are good. But yeah, Captain Marvel, Black Widow. Yeah, of course, Kelly's an excellent writer, and the art is just excellent.
They're like so simpatico. Like, it's very great teamwork on that book.
It's like an action movie.
Like a storyboard for an action movie, absolutely. Yep.
It's like female Jason Bourne basically, because she's like,
Well, that's kind of what. Well, I feel like Jason Bourne stole it from Black Widow.
Yeah.
Remember, Jerry Renner tried to. I'm just saying, he tried to take over the Bourne legacy, and it just didn't work out for him.
I know.
So it might be a theory to that.
No, I just mean that this arc, because she can't remember. These villains basically have her brainwashed to have like this normal life.
Brainwash and amnesia, the only 2 things in comic books.
But here, let me sell this. Let me sell Charlie Escher this book. Yeah, there's a bunch of villains. One of them, Arcade.
Yes, yeah. I'm sad I forgot to read this book this week. But that's the thing. I've been missing books lately because like for example, speaking of vampires, Vampire the Masquerade 4 came out. I don't remember Vampire the Masquerade 3. So,
I don't remember you reviewing it, so.
Oh, I reviewed it?
I said I don't remember you reviewing it.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, because, like, apparently the prince got murdered last issue. I'm like, oh, wow, when did that happen? And, like, all the vampires are sad. Sad vampires. Sad vampires. But, you know, it's World of Darkness, so they're sad vampires, but they're also murderous psychopaths. So you get a nice mix. That's what you want with vampires. You want them to miss the color blue and then tear people's throats out.
Nice Anne Rice reference.
I love that. It's just always so. It is just a weird thing for someone in my mind to say. And I get that it's like, oh, but like, isn't that good? It's like, yeah, but you have vampire eyes, don't you? It's like, isn't like the whole thing you have vampire eyes? It's like, isn't everything blue all the time?
I think it's more red for body heat, maybe.
You know, I don't know, but anyway, so it's pretty cool. You find out that basically all of the other guys were in the conspiracy to kill. So like, our main protagonist is investigating the murder. It turns out that actually the people that are left actually did the murder, and they framed her for it. So, you know.
As you do.
And we got our anarchs, you know. And they're fun, as they always are. And they're about to hook up, because as it turns out, Cecily is part of their old crew. Cecily is our protagonist in the other story. So they're coming to look up their old friend. If you ever had your old druggy friends look you up on a bad day, that's the story. And so, yeah, I'm an old school World of Darkness fan, and so I'm very happy to have the Vampire the Masquerade book out. And we got it back to vampires.
Nice.
Speaking of old school, did you pick up U.S. Agent, Philip?
Yes, I did. I didn't know if Charlie wanted to check.
But yeah, you guys can say super connectivity. I just wanted to see if you actually had the nerve to pick it up.
It'd be something, man.
But I was going to say, I don't know if you got your books this week, Will, because you get yours by mail, right? What have you been reading?
Yeah.
Talk about kicking it old school.
Like subscription?
Yeah, it's Westfield.
Oh. I was just going to say, is it Mile High?
You probably get a little bit of a discount through there, don't you?
Yeah, some, but
to cover the shipping, I would assume.
Back in the day when I was a young whippersnapper, I had subscriptions to Avengers. What else did I subscribe to?
He read Avengers for many, 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 many years until one writer ruined it for him. Who was that writer, Will?
I wonder.
He wasn't writing it for me anymore, so I had to leave.
It always comes back to Bendis.
Yeah.
But it was like Uncanny X-Men, Avengers. Yeah, this was back much longer ago than you probably would like to know.
No, but what's good now? What are you reading now?
All the Kelly Thompson books. She's awesome. Let's see. The Immortal Hulk is a really good book.
Oh yeah.
Speaking Charlie's lingua.
I'm trying to think. I've got my Strange Adventures from DC.
Yep.
Hang on 1 second. Just grab the stack here.
I know who you're reading. Your boy, Green Lantern season 2, right?
Oh yeah, Green Lantern season 2. I guess Hal Jordan gets a lot of crap, but
from Lilith,
he's my Green Lantern. I love him. Okay?
So tell me about Strange Adventures, because I've been seeing this. I'm saying that looks like a book Charlie Esser would like. But
I don't want to spend the $4 to find out.
It's like, man, that looks like something I would
It is a DC book, after all.
It is a DC book. I already have one of those, and
that's quite enough.
And all Lilith ever tells me is they're all horrible. So it's like,
well, it's a little weird what I'm doing here. I've heard just how awesome Mr. Miracle was by Tom King and
it was
Mitch Gerards.
Scroll way down.
I've got. I've been building them up. I'm going to wait till the series is finished and then read all of them at once.
A worthy binge session, sir.
It's going to be difficult because I'm looking at the covers and I've been reading a lot of press about it. Everybody's talking about how good it is, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers and everything. But
this way, you don't have to wait for answers.
Yeah, read it all at once. Let's see, Green Lantern. Grant Morrison on Green Lantern is awesome. I deeply love, and honestly love the work of Warren Ellis, who is now problematic. Okay,
he's always been problematic, just more so in the public eye.
Yeah. So
you can separate the art. It's okay.
Yeah, the Planetary is probably, bar none, my favorite series. Just what he was able to do with John Cassidy and Laura Martin to play at the time. But that's just such an amazing series. It hits me. I'm a superhero fan, so it just fires on all cylinders for me. And a lot of his other series, he's done so many limited series. Let's see, what's the one 12 issue, Global Frequency. Love Global Frequency. That's just an amazing series. Anyway, I'm getting Batman's Grave.
Yes! Yes!
I'm waiting to read it too. It's almost done. So and Brian Hitch is a brilliant artist. Going all the way back to The Authority and his time on JLA. He's good.
And in case anyone forgot, Batman's a detective.
This is a really good one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that's pulling from the Timverse. So
yeah.
Oh, this one,
it's already halfway there.
Oh yeah, issue 6 this week was good. We got the animated series version of what happened to Jason Todd with the Joker.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you didn't read it yet. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I haven't read it yet. Now, I've been waiting for this to come out so that I can read all 4 of them because I'm an old school Transformers fan from a long time back. That's Transformers 84.
Oh.
And then I've become a big fan of an artist that does some work for mainly Image, but has done some DC covers. Mirka Andolfo. She does a book called Mercy.
Oh yeah,
Image.
I've seen that. I've passed it a few times thinking about it.
I think I first encountered her art. Maybe she was doing it. There was a limited series for DC, Hex Wives. Maybe that's where I first ran across it or something. But she's a really, really good artist. I think she's Italian, too. So I think she lives actually somewhere over in Italy. That's all I have in the stack here. Let's see. I also get a lot of stuff off of Kickstarter. I'm supporting, don't tell my wife, but an inordinate number of Kickstarters right now.
You and Ray.
Yeah. Well, in fact, this week was like Charlie Stickney's one of the writer friends that we meet. We meet up, as part of we call it Comics Happy Hours every month that we meet up. But his White Ash #5 just came out, got it in the mail. And then he's also the writer of a really popular Kickstarter called The Adept. He's one of the co-writers on that book. So, yeah, like Thursday was Charlie Stickney Day here at the house. But, I'm going to bug him about it later tonight. But, yeah, lots of good books on Kickstarter. Kevin Joseph and Tart. That's one that I read and support every time it comes out. This was a surprise to me. Alan Moore. You ever heard of
him? Don't make us trump you and cut your mic, sir.
Charlie Esser has issues with Alan Moore.
Well, there are certainly issues with Alan Moore, but he's got a big collection. Neonomicon, I think.
Oh yeah,
it's on Kickstarter right now, and one of my friends said that he rates it. Well, I was actually talking about my Isle of Raw issues in the newsletter. I've been kind of going through them.
Oh yeah, well, he had a huge list. He had like 20, 25 issues.
I did
he had
top
to
20,
narrow it down to 4.
But one of my favorite issues is a Tom Strong issue. I love ABC Comics and America's Best Comics by Alan Moore. Chris Sprouse did Tom Strong. But it kind of, ended up meandering off onto a tangent Promethea, I think, is probably one of Moore's just best works. He's teamed with such, in J.H. Williams III, he's just teamed with such an amazing artist. I always keep going back, and I feel like this is just Moore showing off because he can, but there is a 2-page spread in Promethea 20-something where it's a Mobius strip, the infinity symbol, right? And they're walking around it, and just because Moore he's crazy. I know he's crazy. We all know he's crazy, right? But he is a genius. You can literally enter the conversation at any point around the strip, and it works. The conversation makes sense. And also, you get a top side and bottom side version of, because you go on the top side of the strip, and then you come around and you're on the bottom side immediately under. Those parts of the conversation inform each other, almost kind of diametric. It's brilliant. I mean, and I keep coming back to that because of the structure and everything I did. And anyway, my friend and I were talking. He said, when people look back, and from the future at, Moore's greatest works, he said Promethea is going to be one of them. And then he said this Neonomicon was. And I'm like, I've never read it. Honestly, I mean, it's an Avatar book, and I've read some Avatar books, but generally I don't. I'm not a big horror fan in general, says the guy who writes vampires. But I'd never read it. And he said, trust me, read it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll throw down some money on a big collection and see. But I'm one of those people, when I taught, I did teach Watchmen because it was...
Oh, yes, you did teach. You did teach. Was it just that one semester you taught a class on comics?
I did it 3 times.
Okay.
Three different semesters. They didn't tell me I couldn't, so I kept doing it. It was awesome. But I tried. I took a more writer focus on it. So I had 2 books by Moore, 2 books by Ellis. We did Grant Moore. We did All-Star Superman, which one of those issues was on my list. Never ending. For that. I mean, the whole book is good, and the way it's set up. I mean, it's built structurally flawlessly. But it's the suicide, where he helps prevent the suicide of the girl on the field, which is just a great panel with it's got a lot of punch. I mean, it's really an affecting, the whole issue is affecting. I mean, it's just
Modern Superman could never.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they kind of wrote it as like it was almost like Silver Age, but they did add like modern elements and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't you have like Walt Simonson Thor in there too?
Well, that was
we
kind of
won't hold that against you.
Oh,
I'm going to sneak this in here because I love it so much. But yeah, I did Walt Simonson Thor. But the 2 more books I did were Watchmen because it's kind of and I did The Dark Knight Returns, which I don't think is the best Miller Batman. I'm staunchly on the year 1, mainly because the art of David Mazzucchelli, and it's just it's more hopeful in my mind. I know it's crime noir because that's what Miller writes, is crime noir. But for Moore, we did Watchmen and we did V for Vendetta. And I've always preferred V over Watchmen. Watchmen is just so...
Well, V is a little too apropos right now. that hit a little different in 2020, watching it this year on the 5th of November. That hit a way different.
Yes. I actually made the comment to my wife as I was thinking of letting the dog go out back. I said, I jumped up and was like, the writers of 2020, wow, they are
plagiarists.
I am impressed. They're going to reveal the election results on the 5th of November. Come on.
What a season finale.
The murder hornets make their triumphant return.
That's right. But yeah, it was a lot of fun just talking about, all these books. For Ellis, we did, we did Transmetropolitan and we did Planetary because I just love Planetary. But, this class was a once a week night class. So we were in class for like 3 hours. So I couldn't do all of Planetary. We did just the first, 4 to 6 issues, whatever's in the first trade. For Watchmen, we read the whole thing.
He was trying to get voted coolest professor. We get it.
And I got it too. I'm trying to think. We of course did. this was really kind of a survey class, and the way I approached it, because nobody else is going to come up with the books I did. Because, I mean, I was thinking, how do you teach a novel class? What novels do you choose? There's about 1 billion out there, right? I mean, what's your focus going to be? And it's the same with comics. Comics is such a large, medium that, it encompasses Scrooge McDuck and From Hell and Jeff Smith's Bone, and there's just everything, and superheroes, and everything else is thrown in the mix. So I kind of tried to take this is going to be a survey of popular American comics. We'll mention some other things, but we're going to look at popular American comics and some of the writers that I think are most important. So that let me focus down, and I tried to give a pretty good history of comics kind of by decade. And then whoever we were talking about, if it was Watchmen, it was, this is Alan Moore's kind of bunch of works that he did. Plus here's Dave Gibbons, because, the whole art team is responsible for the book, not just the writer. But it was a tremendous amount of fun. I do remember I think it was the second time I taught, I think it was the second one. We had a guy that he hated Superman. He just hated Superman. He was, Image and Spawn. That was what he loved. I'm like, that's fine. We all love stuff. It's great. But
you gotta put some respect on that name, sir.
But after we read All-Star Superman, he was like, that was good. That was really, really good. It was really about, all of us, not just me as the professor, but it was about all of us just kind of sharing our love of comics and love geek culture too. I mean, that's what am I, Lilith? I'm a
nerd.
Thank you.
He wants that badge.
You can always count on me.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that was some long digression there. I'm sorry. I just Alan Moore is on Kickstarter. And
you're officially a Capes and Lunatics member. Yay! I did have one book that I think, maybe not Charlie, but definitely Phil and Will might be interested in. And it's Thompson Heller, Detective Interstellar. And it is a Source Point Press book. And it's kind of like if Batman and Constantine had a baby in space.
In space?
Whoa.
Yes. So a little Quasar too. A little Green Lantern too, just for good measure.
Thompson Heller.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is this?
Detective Interstellar, yep. It's written by Milton Lawson and Dave Chisholm. And yeah, it just gave me Constantine, Batman, and kind of like space vibes. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. Very interesting, quote unquote protagonist. Y'all know I love a good, anti-hero, and that's what I definitely would classify him as. He likes to drink, he's smarmy and smug, all the things I love.
Gimme.
So the artwork was absolutely very intriguing. It was different, and it can grow on me. It was just different. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just different. It was very angular, and I usually don't go for angular kind of things, but it's all right, I'll take it.
Cool. I will definitely take a look at that.
And it's a $3.99 book from good luck finding it because it's a Source Point Press book. But I just thought I'd throw it out there. Maybe your comic book guy can source it down, get it off Etsy, whatever they do over at Source Point Press.
These people just need websites anymore,
I'm sure if you Googled Source Point Press, it would come up.
Yeah.
Might be a blogger template, but it'll come up. It's 2020. You got to have a web presence.
That's true. All right.
So on that note, I know you boys have super connectivity to do.
On the road!
And I can't wait to troll it for about 5-10 minutes before I fall asleep.
Before you pass out. Yeah. All right. So, everyone got a lot thrown at you, so... Got any questions? Hey, want to get a hold of Will? Anything? Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Capes and Lunatics Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our Facebook group. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Patreon. Links to merchandise. All in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And remember to support our sponsors, Tweaked Audio. I hope you heard this whole episode crystal clear. Go get some Tweaked Audio. Go pick up Hunt a Killer.
Michelle Gray needs our help, guys. Come on. It's an escape room in a box. Don't go outside. It's not over yet, guys.
Take it from a master of living inside her whole life.
Be a hermit like Lilith.
That's right. Use the code Southgate for both of those. Then pick up Pod Life the book, now in Volume 1, now in digital and paperback. Audio version coming soon. Learn the ins and outs of podcasting from the experts and Rob Southgate. Volume 2 is on its way. So yes, go pick up Volume 1 on Amazon. And when you do, use the link for Southgate Media Group right down there in the show notes. Help us support this show, the network, and that crazy man, Rob, Master Doom Southgate.
Make it rain, so says Master Doom. Why did your eye drift over to my box?
All right, William, Master of the Quantum Zone. Where can people find you and all your works, Diary of Night, Crossover Division?
You can find me at Walred. That's at WALLRED at Gmail or Twitter. Twitter, I hang out a lot, I guess, on Twitter. Facebook, Instagram, although I don't think I've logged into Instagram in quite a while. But
it's okay. It's good for your mental health. It's okay.
Yeah. No more doom scrolling, right? You can find my works at Diary of Night, so diaryofnight.com, which is a beautiful book with art by Gene Gonzalez.
Yes, it is.
Love doing that with him. And then, of course, Crossover Division launches on Wednesday. So crossoverdivision.com/KS to sign up for the pre-launch page, or you can just go to crossoverdivision.com and subscribe to the newsletter, which is the Midnight Hour. And then there's this weird group of guys that do this Quasar podcast. It's on the Quantum Zone. So if you want to find out really cool stuff about Quasar, you can go to the Quantum Zone at quantumzone.org.
I'll put it in my navel.
Exactly.
Lilith.
I'm never gonna live down that drop, am I?
Oh, I'm waiting for more.
Hey, boys, look at the party. I love the party.
Let's live that down.
He goes.
My second favorite one.
Have you got through the Star Blast issue where Triton talks about tentacles and other things?
Oh, not yet. No. Soon.
More quantum tentacles?
It was.
I don't think those were tentacles.
Oh, yeah, because Ray even sent the panel that day. He's like, who's going to say this one? It was like Triton saying, the tentacles aren't going in any of our orifices or something to that.
I'm like,
pure Tom DeFalco Fantastic Four. Just,
Yeah, it took me 2 or 3 times to get through that because I was like, what?
Couldn't stop laughing.
I don't think those are tentacles.
I hope it's going somewhere nice.
There's a drop. All right, Lilith Hellfire, where can people find you?
If you nerds want to hang out with me on the interwebs, you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram with your hip grandparents and some of the cool kids, at Lilith Hellfire 86 for boring life stuff, at Lilith Hellfire 69 for the memes, and of course, join me on TikTok as I embarrass myself as an elder millennial at Lilith Hellfire 69. I'm 12 when you need me to be 12. Pull yourself up and slip into it.
Charlie Esser.
Well, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way where our ma's and pa's once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet DuckTales every Monday night at 7 p.m. It's a great show with amazing lore. You people are missing out. At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIE. Yes, S-E-R. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing.
Thank you, Maz.
No Tristan chiming in. I miss it.
He's on vacation. Leave the boy alone. He's probably down in the pool. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Go pick up the Crossover Division. And for another week, we have been your Capes
and Passant,
Lunatics, and special guests.
Thanks again for having me, guys.
Hey, no
Anytime, Will.
Yeah, it's great to get a chance to talk to you. I never get to talk to you.
Oh, it's horrible, man. I'm going to cry. Hang on.
I was going to say you get to talk without someone making bad puns, but Will was saying instead of Kona. So. There's two keys in a pun.
And it had this weird balance because there was a second Lewis and a second Matt.
Oh, yeah. Nature of toys a vacuum.